What's up, guys? We are live. Sorry about starting 20 minutes late. My apologies. We got a very good card and on free TV. We got in UFC Philadelphia. We got Justin Gaethje versus Edson Barboza, and I think the whole card is good. I think every fight's good. It's definitely one of the best cards I feel like this year, especially on free TV on ESPN. And Kelton, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm just trying to keep that Kennedy Nzechukwu in my mind. We were just talking about how to pronounce that gentleman's last name. It's actually not that difficult. Nzechukwu. I'm doing good though, man. We got a good fucking card. I have 4 bets, 13 units on the line, and I'm ready to rock, bro. Let's just talk about this. Or do you want to recap last card?
We could, man. It's up to you. You want to?
Yeah. I'll run down real quick. Unfortunately, I had my first losing night in 5 weeks. I was on a nice little run there, but unfortunately, I lost on. Hold on, try to pull up the last card here real quick. We both lost on Steven Peterson. That was it is what it is. Plus 250. I mean, I thought for a plus 250 he had his moments for sure. I mean, Pena was a minus 300. He was supposed to go out there and win that fight. I don't think we should be too hard on ourselves for that one there on Peterson. You won the battle of the bro picks on Bryce Mitchell, Bobby Moffitt. Dude, that was a crazy close fight. Both guys had I thought both guys had good moments. I saw improvements in both guys. I seen a lot of people talking shit on Moffitt's performance. I mean, I think the people that are talking shit on Moffitt's performance are just not giving Bryce Mitchell any credit, because I thought Bryce Mitchell had a really, really good performance, and I think the sky is honestly the limit for that guy. I'd like to see him go to a big gym, but that was a good performance. And then my winning bet, I had 2 units on Juicy Formiga plus 145. I'm really happy that one cashed for me. It could have been a disastrous night, but he saved it and just made it a very small loss for me. So yeah, dude, Formiga dominated, and he closed plus 150. That's crazy. Disrespect on the number 1 flyweight contender in the world. And speaking of flyweight, dude, Henry Cejudo and Marlon Moraes, I cannot wait for that fight. We got a lot of fight announcements today. We should talk about that at the end.
But yeah, man, I'm down. That's a banger. But yeah, we'll talk about those at the end. Go ahead.
Yeah, anything else notable on this card? Obviously, Pettis' knockout of Wonderboy. That was fucking phenomenal, man. I'm glad Curtis Blades shut up Justin Willis. That was a good performance. McDessie fight kind of sucked. Macy Barber, dude. That was like the biggest star of the card for me. That performance started off rough, lost the first round, and then came in. Second round, just landed that shot on Aldrich that hurt her, and she has such killer instinct for a chick, dude, and such big power. JJ Aldrich is no slouch at all, and I definitely think that plus 200 was rightful. Macy Barber is special for sure, but for a plus 200, that was a really tough test. So I was impressed by Macy Barber. She's easily gonna be top 10 for sure in a couple of years, maybe even less. Marlon Vera absolutely smoked Signs. I'm pissed because I wanted to bet Cheeto in the distance at plus 175, and I passed. Random Marcos, first round sub over Angie Hill. We both picked Random Marcos, and neither of us bet her, bro. I think anytime we both pick an underdog, we should really consider betting that dog. If we're both in agreement, we should definitely consider that. Gutierrez beat the hell out of Ryan McDonald, but yeah, I mean, he for sure should have finished that guy. Come on now. And then you cashed on Jordan Espinoza against Eric Shelton. That was a razor thin fight, but they probably got it right. Congrats on that one.
Thanks, man. Yeah, so what a recap. Yeah, man, I plus 7.75 on the night. The Steven Peterson bet sucks, man. I don't know. It's just a bad bet on both our parts. And I mean, I don't think he's going to stick around in the UFC. Who knows? I mean, I want to fade him now for sure. I don't think he's that good. I really thought he could have capitalized on the volume and taken him down. He did take Pena down, but Pena was just too much for him on the feet. The main event, Pettis got a good win, but I don't think he's going to go that far in the division. I don't know who he's going to fight next, but I mean, I think Luque would destroy him. I feel like a lot of guys, even outside the top 15 at welterweight, would beat Pettis. So congrats for the Wonderboy win, but Wonderboy's I feel like at the end of his career though. So I don't know where they both come for here. The 2 fights, that I won on, I thought the Mitchell Moffitt fight was really close. I think it all came down to him going on top of Moffitt in the third round, because he was losing that third round until he got on top of him. So if people on Twitter saying that was easy money, like that was so close. Like I was sweating, man, when I heard that decision. But,
came down to like the last 30 sequence.
I think it all came down on that third round. But if they would have gave it to Moffitt, it wouldn't have been like a robbery, I don't think. Like it was a really close fight. What else I was going to say? Oh, and the Espinoza fight, I don't think that was – I think I mean, it was close for sure, but like I do think the judges got it right. I just don't think Shelton really did anything. Like I think Shelton won the third round, but I think that's it. Shelton just – I don't know, man. Like he's just – I'm not going to call him a flake. He's just not – his potential, I feel like, is just like – I don't know. I don't think we're ever going to see the best Shelton. Like I don't know what's up with him, but he just always fights close. But yeah, so I'm down to start this card. So first fight of the night, we got Mark De La Rosa versus Alex Perez, and yeah, this is a bantamweight too, I believe. Yep, it's a pretty good fight. I wasn't really that impressed with De La Rosa last fight versus Joby Sanchez. I thought that was a really close fight, by the way. Sanchez actually looked a lot improved in there. I mean, Perez, I feel like is going to be the bigger guy, even though that De La Rosa's fought a bantamweight before. And this is Perez. Well, Perez has fought a bantamweight in the past. But I think this is his debut in the UFC at bantamweight. I think he's going to be a big 35er. I think some people might kind of discredit him because he got knocked out twice last fight versus Joe B. But with all due respect, Joe B is one of the best guys in the division. I think Alex Perez has a big grappling advantage here. I think he's still one of the best grapplers at 125. Now he's going to 135. We'll see how far he goes. But I still think he could definitely win a lot of fights 135. I think he's a good fighter. I think he has good striking too. Striking is definitely improved. You saw him, I mean, dust Jose Shorty Torres. He has a lot of volume, man. I like him, man. I don't think De La Rosa's, I'm not going to say he's bad. I just don't think he's better anywhere in this fight, really. I mean, he's a tough guy for sure. He's a young guy, but I just think Perez is going to get him down, and I think he's going to get him out of there. So I got Alex Perez by a second round TKO. What about you?
Yeah, this is a good fight, man. I lost some money on Perez last time against Joseph Benavidez, but honestly, like, dude, Joe B came out with the perfect game plan. He saw how Perez came out like a wild man and just completely tore apart Shorty Torres. And what did Joseph Benavidez do? He came out and was able to be the faster guy and got to Perez before Perez was able to get to him, man. Honestly, he was first. He was first to the punch, and he did a great job. And Joe B hits hard, man. Like Joe B actually has a lot of knockouts in the UFC. Underrated power, like top 3 guy. And we can't just forget about where Perez stood in the division before that. I mean, we were talking about Perez as like a possible future flyweight title contender. We were just talking about Eric Shelton. Like he absolutely dominated Eric Shelton. I saw that fight in person. This guy Alex Perez is a serious dude. He doesn't have to cut that extra 10 pounds for this fight. I think like Alex Perez and Davison Figueiredo, those are 2 flyweights I absolutely think will have a decent future at bantamweight, just because those 2 are so big for the division, man. They can actually fill out. Mark De La Rosa, De La Rosa is a tiny guy. He's kind of small for bantamweight. Perez is going to have a big size advantage here, power advantage, wrestling advantage, jiu-jitsu advantage, maybe even. De La Rosa is a good BJJ guy. Well, we'll see about that. I think Perez needs to probably keep it on the feet, though. I think he can do that for sure, man. I think he'll have the bigger physical presence. He should probably be able to negate any kind of ground attack from De La Rosa, and he should probably pick him apart on the feet. De La Rosa has not been knocked out before, so I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt here and say he lasts all 3 rounds, but I'm going to go with Alex Perez via a 30-27 decision. No bet, though. I think that minus 300 range, though, that's honestly rightful here, man, because he has the advantage in most aspects of the game. It's a pretty good rebound fight for him, in my opinion. So moving on to the next fight, man, this is actually my most recent bet. We got Sabina Mazo. I believe the line is around minus 155. She's taking on Marina Moroz. She's coming back at I'm still looking at last card's odds. Marina Moroz is somewhere around that plus 125 range. But yeah, man, I took 3 units on Sabina Mazo at minus 141. I just do not think highly of Marina Moroz at all. Like, usually at strawweight, like anytime she had success, of course, there was that fight against JoJo Calderwood where my opinion, it was a little bit of a fluke submission. JoJo was going through some personal problems, and hey, if that fight happens 9 out of 10 times these days, JoJo Calderwood absolutely smokes Marina Moroz in rematches. So I don't really hold that one in too high regard. And then most of all her other fights are really boring, man. And even her last fight against Angela Hill, she was really solidly outstruck by Angela Hill. I was also at that fight as well. Just wasn't a good look, man. And now coming up at 125 pounds here, maybe she put on some muscle and doesn't look like such a skinny twig in there these days. But the real big thing for this one, for me, man, is usually Marina Moroz is used to having that height and reach advantage and size advantage, but she's not going to have that here, man. Sabina Mazo, she knows how to use her length much better than Marina Moroz. Even at 20, 21 years old, like, she's a lot more technical in their striking. And the reason behind that is because this chick has been training at King's MMA under Rafael Cordero for, since she was literally a kid, man. Like, she's just been, this is her life. Like, she's been striking her the whole life. And I'm so distracted by Justin's dog right now. Oh, man, that's funny. I couldn't tell. Was that a chocolate lab?
It's a Great Dane.
Oh, Great Dane. Okay.
Yeah, she's like 140 pounds.
Holy shit, dude.
Come on, get out of here.
I do like Mazo quite a bit here, man. I just simply see this staying on the feet. I don't think either chick is going to go for takedowns, nor do I think they can even get them if they do. Who knows? Maybe Moroz ends up getting it on the ground somehow, and I guess maybe just who knows? She might not even have the jiu-jitsu advantage. Who knows how Mazo's been making improvements in the gym and her BJJ game. We just haven't simply seen that much, but who knows, man? She's always in that gym. She could have some great BJJ game that we don't know about, but I definitely wouldn't bank on Moroz going out there and getting a sub like she did in the JoJo fight. But honestly, I don't see her outpointing her on the feet, so maybe a sub is really her only path. It's kind of crazy. I guess I get that the line is good just because Mazo is 20 years old, hasn't really fought anyone, and all that good stuff, and it's her debut. I guess that's why the line's good, but hey, I'll fucking take it, man, because the way I see this fight playing out, it's going to stay on the feet, and the cleaner striker will win a 30-27 decision. So, and who knows, maybe she could get a head kick knockout along the way, but Moroz actually has a solid chin. She ate some, like, huge shots from Danielle Taylor and other fights before. We know Danielle Taylor, she actually has some power behind her hands. Look at that ass. So, yeah, man, I got Mazo here. I'm going to say 30-27 decision. I got 3 units at -141 to win over a little over 2 units. She's a way cleaner striker, man. She knows how to use that reach, unlike Moroz. Moroz just is not that good, bro. She's not going to be in the UFC in about a year or two. She's going to be in Invicta probably.
Yeah, man, I also got Mazo, and I do like her, man, a lot. I'm impressed with her. I know she hasn't really been fighting the best competition, but she's undefeated, and she's handled all those cans that she's, I feel like impressively. Her last 2 fights, she went out there and won 2 5-round decisions and won every round, in my opinion. She has good head kick. She has a good jab. I don't know if you discussed this. I haven't really heard a lot of people talk about it, but she's actually a brown belt in BJJ as well. So, I think that if it hits the mat, I don't think she's going to be like a no one on the mat. Like, I think she can definitely get up and maybe even reverse Mazo Moroz. I don't think Moroz is that good. I really don't. She's one of the worst girls at 115. Now she's gone to 125. I think Mazo's still going to be bigger. Mazo's a pretty big 125er. Moroz could arguably be 2-4 in the UFC. I think she lost to Danielle Taylor. I think you said that Taylor. I think you said Moroz won that fight, but I actually thought Moroz lost that fight. I think Taylor won. The fight with JoJo is kind of a fluke. I just think Mazo is too technical for her on the feet. I think she throws more volume. I think she's the better striker. And it's not like Moroz ever goes for takedowns or, grapples. So I don't think she's going to be able to get her down anyways. I don't think Mazo's going to go out there and take her down. She's a striker. So I got to go with the King's MMA prospect. And she's, 21 years old? Like, this girl's only going to improve. And I think she's pretty good, man, for the division. So I think I want to see her, fight maybe Paige Van Zandt next. We'll see. But, yeah, I got Mazo winning a pretty dominant decision. So next fight, we got a weight replacement fight. We got Ray Borg versus Casey Kennedy. We got Casey Kenney. It's a pretty good fight, actually, man. You know, Borg's making his bantamweight debut. He hasn't fought in a very long time. Coming off, you know, long way off, lots of stuff going on with him. Casey Kenney, man, he's pretty good. I think he got robbed in the Contender Series. He should definitely be undefeated. He's pretty big too. I think he definitely is the bigger fighter here. He just won, I feel like, the 135-pound strap at LFA like a week ago. So, I mean, he's going to be fresh in there for sure. This is a close fight. I think Borg's a better grappler. We haven't really seen a lot of guys go out there and try to take down Kenney because Kenney has good grappling too. I just don't think he's going to be able to take down Borg. On the feet, Borg's striking has definitely improved a lot. I mean, since the Scoggins fight, like, I remember, like, I think after the Scoggins fight, it got improved a lot. I mean, he went out there and looked good against Formiga, but he took him down, but he still looked good in the feet. I just think Casey Kenney's a better striker. I think he's a bigger guy, but I think Borg's a better grappler, and I think he's going to be able to kind of control Kenney for 3 rounds. So I'm going to go with Borg with a 29-28 decision, but I do think that Casey Kenney's live here, but I'm not going to play it just because, I mean, Borg has more experience. Borg's one of the best fighters, I feel like, in the division. At 135, though, like, you know, Casey Kenney doesn't have the size advantage, so we'll see. But just with a couple of days' notice, like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm going to have to go with Borg, but I think it's close. What about you?
Yeah, man. Honestly, I definitely agree with you about Casey Kenney's Contender Series fight. I thought he won that, man, and he's actually a pretty decent fighter. But truly, and I really haven't looked into this fight that much, I'll be honest, but truly, man, there is absolutely levels to this game. And can you quickly tell me off the top of your head who Ray Borg's last win is?
Formiga, right?
Jussier Formiga. You see what Jussier Formiga just did to Davison Figueiredo, bro? Like, that is such a good win. I know that win actually got him the title fight against Demetrius Johnson. Of course, he was actually putting up a good effort against DJ there, but DJ was just too much, man. But I mean, Ray Borg is a serious dude, and obviously there's concerns about what's going on in his personal life. He hasn't fought in quite some time. A lot of fight cancellations. Is he going to be 100% there physically and mentally? Late notice opponent, like, obviously Casey Kenney's coming in. He just fought a week ago. This is short notice for him as well, but this is short notice for Borg as well. It's a complete different opponent. Big change up for him, man. And I don't know. There's definitely enough X factors to get me away from not wanting to parlay Ray Borg here at such a big price. I think there's probably better parlay options for this card, but yeah, Casey Kenney, he's definitely a solid fighter, and I'm going to say he lasts all 3 rounds here, but I'm going to say he gets dominated. I'm going to go with Ray Borg via 30-27 decision. I think he's going to be able to out-grapple his way to a decision here, most likely. So moving on to the next fight, man, we got Gerald Meerschaert plus 170 take on Kevin Holland minus 200. This is a really good fight, man. I'm a big fan of both these guys, to be honest. It's funny, I bet on Meerschaert last time against Jack Hermansson. I bet some big dog money on GM3, and Jack made me look bad, bro. Jack Hermansson absolutely, like, threw this guy around and beat the hell out of him. Some of the most vicious ground and pound in the game. We'll talk about Jack Hermansson a little later, but dude, I mean, I actually was considering maybe thinking that GM3 at plus 200 was probably a decent 1-unit dog shot here, man. But the fact is, he did take a large beating against Jack Hermansson. And I don't know how he's going to come back in this one. GM3, he's not that old of a guy, but we talk about it all the time, man. There's a such thing as fight years and damage meters, and GM3 has actually taken a decent amount of damage and been through a lot of wars in his career. So who knows when that might add up. I think Kevin Holland is definitely live for a knockout here, possibly, but really, when I think about this fight, I just think Kevin Holland, this is no secret. Every podcast will talk about it. Kevin Holland, he fucks around in fights, man. And GM3 is not a guy you want to fuck around with in fights. I know it was only a couple fights ago, but y'all remember Oscar Piachota absolutely beating up GM3 in that first round, and GM3, the tough dude he is, came back in that second round. I could just see a situation here where Kevin Holland just puts all his energy into beating GM3's ass in the first round, and GM3 coming back, winning the the second and third round, or maybe even a second or third round finish. So that's enough for me to not want to bet Kevin Holland here at minus 200. I think even at plus 170, a lot of money actually has come in on GM3. I think at plus 170, that might even hold some value. I'm going to go with Kevin Holland here, though, just because he does have the higher ceiling. He hasn't taken as much damage, and he should probably outstrike GM3 to a decision here. And I think even if it does hit the mat, we all know about GM3's submission skills. I think Holland actually has some underrated jiu-jitsu and can probably hang. I'm not saying he's going to out-grapple GM3, but he's going to be able to hang there. He's probably going to be able to get back to his feet. I got Kevin Holland 30-27 decision here, but I wouldn't play it at minus 200.
Yeah, man, I got Holland as well, and I'm actually going to disagree with what you said. I think Holland might be the better grappler, man. I know that GM3 is a really good grappler, but Holland is too. Like Holland's a brown belt as well. Actually, GM3 might be a brown or a black, but I think Holland's bigger than him. I mean, GM3 is a pretty big middleweight, but I mean, Holland has some length advantages. I feel like for sure. He's definitely better on the feet. I don't think GM3 is going to be able to take him down if he does. I mean, I guess him getting reversed. I mean, he's been subbed a lot. He's been subbed like 8 times, so. They both have good BJJ. I just don't think GM3 is going to be able to, get on top of him. If Holland gets on top of him, he has to worry because GM3 is pretty good off his back. But I actually think Holland just better everywhere. GM3 is still a pretty good fighter though. Like I don't know. Like he took a lot of damage last fight. He could be a little on the decline. Like he's taken a lot of damage, but he's still a good fighter. Like he's not like a jobber or anything. I just think on the feet he's just outgunned. Holland just way more technical on the feet. Way more tools in the feet. I mean, they both have good chins, but Holland's a faster guy, more athletic guy. Really good kicks, good jab. And GM3, his striking is not the best. I don't think it's bad, but I'm not going to sit here and say it's good. I think it's improving, but I just don't think it's on the level that Kevin Holland striking is. So I'm going to actually go with Holland by a finish. I think he's going to get him out of there. I would be surprised if he taps him out, to be honest, but I think he's going to get a third-round TKO. So next fight we got, let me check real quick. Okay, we got what is it? Okay, we got a good one, man. We got Enrique Barzola versus Kevin Aguilar. This is a really, really close fight. I've been actually going back and forth this fight like multiple times, which is probably a good idea that I shouldn't be betting this fight, which I'm not. Barzola, man, he looks good, man. Every fight, he does get hurt in his fights though, and I mean at 145, I feel like he might be like one of the smaller guys. Like I think he could be a bantamweight, to be honest, but I mean his grappling is really good. Like he has really good wrestling, really good relentless pace. I mean, good cardio. His striking's improving for sure, but I mean you see him like you don't want to brawl. Like I feel like he I don't know, just I don't think he should brawl with certain I don't think he should brawl to begin with. You saw him brawl with Benitez, and Benitez hurt him. And even he tried to, I think he brawled a little bit with Brandon Davis, and Davis, I think, was having some success in the feet. So I think it's probably the worst game plan against a guy like Kevin Aguilar, who I think is the better striker. I think Kevin Aguilar draws you into a war. Like that's how he is. But I mean, every fight he's in, he gets into a war, and that's what he wants to do. And on the feet, I think Aguilar is a better striker. I think he has more tools in the feet. I think he's more aggressive. But on the mat, obviously, I think Barzola has the advantage. But is he going to be able to control him on the mat? Like, I don't know. Like, I've been going back and forth, but you know what, man? I'm going to go out here and I'm going to have to go with the dog, man. I think Kevin Aguilar is going to get it done. I really do. I don't like the way Barzola fought really close at the set. I know he won that fight, but even against Davis and Bissett, like, he didn't look the best. Like, he's a good fighter. Like, he has good grappling, but I just think he's going to get thrown into a brawl in this fight, man. And that's really going to hurt him because I think Kevin Aguilar is a really, really good striker. And a lot of people are talking about how bad he looked at the Contender Series. That was on short notice, and that was up a weight class. Like, Aguilar is like a pretty big 145er. That's his weight class. And you saw what he did against Rick Glenn. I think you bet Aguilar there, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, man, that was a good bet. And Rick Glenn, man, like he's not like he's a really tough guy. I feel like he's definitely like in the middle of the division, and Aguilar beat his ass bad in that fight, like bad. Even though Rick Glenn caught him though in the third round, but that was a war. Like I don't think Barzola is going to be able to go out there and hurt him on the feet. Barzola is a decent striker. Like he has a lot of good volume, but he's just not on the same ballpark that Kevin Aguilar is in the feet. So I'm going to go with Aguilar here. I really do. I think he's going to win a close decision, but he needs to watch out about Barzola's grappling because Barzola has really good wrestling. But I think Aguilar's going to be able to get back up. What about you?
Yeah, man. My boy, the Angel of Death. I'm a huge fan of Kevin Aguilar. I'm actually 3-0 betting this guy, man. I mean, plus 200 against Damon the Leech Jackson in LFA, plus 170 against Ton Lee in LFA, and minus 105 against Rick Glenn in the UFC. This dude has come through for me very, very good lines 3 times. I mean, he's an absolute winner. But when I look on the other side, Enrique Barzola is a damn winner as well, man. Like, this is a great fight. Easily one of the best on the entire card, man. I'm like, it's just crazy to me looking down at how far down this fight is on the card. It's pretty crazy to me. And we got Paul Craig versus Kennedy on the main card, but this is on the prelims. Great fight, man. Enrique Barzola, although he does have that loss against Kyle Bochniak, in my opinion, that was not a loss. I bet on Kyle Bochniak, and I felt very, very lucky afterwards. Let me just say that. Enrique Barzola has like a really, really tough style, man. Of course, he trains with the best over at American Top Team. He's got that wrestling game. He's even got a decent striking game, man. Like, I was really impressed with his performance against Mowgli Benitez. Mowgli was like a minus 200 or something in that fight, and I thought like that was like a rightful line, and Barzola just completely kind of outclassed him a little bit. I know he got dropped, but dude, that was, I mean, he's a really good fighter, man. Like, he just has the skills for sure. And I'm definitely worried about takedowns in this fight for sure. Him taking Aguilar down, but I think Aguilar's a very well-rounded fighter himself, man. And I just think he's going to be the bigger guy. I think his punches are going to cause problems for Barzola. I just don't see this being like a lot of Barzola's fights. He's able to set up those takedowns with the strikes, but this is like the first time in Barzola's career. I shouldn't say that because I kind of felt the same way in the Mowgli fight, but in my opinion, Kevin Aguilar is a better fighter than Mowgli Benitez. But I guess I'm just kind of getting the same feelings I did in that Mowgli fight, where I just think the striking advantage for Kevin Aguilar just might be too much. I think it's going to be hard for Barzola to really get in his groove, and I don't know, man. Like, I'm definitely scared to bet against Barzola because, like I said, the dude just wins fights, and especially now that Aguilar's not even plus money anymore. He's minus 105. At plus money, I'd definitely get a bet on Kevin Aguilar, and who knows, even if the line keeps moving and Barzola hits like plus 120, plus 130, that's like a great bet as well. It's just a razor thin fight, man. And I definitely wouldn't bet any minus money on it. You got to take a dog in this fight, and there's no dog right now, man, so it's a pass. I'm going to go with Kevin Aguilar, man. Like, it's honestly a coin flip for me. Truly, it is a coin flip for me. I'm simply just going to go with the more biased opinion. Aguilar's came through for me. I think he probably keeps it on the feet most of the fight, and I think he's going to drop Barzola a couple times. Probably win 30-27 or 29-28 decision.
Call the next one.
So moving on to the next fight, we got I still got next fight is Desmond Green. Yeah, we got the biggest favorite on the card, Desmond Green, minus 445 taking on Ross, the real deal, Pearson, plus 355. Oh, bro, Ross Pearson is easily one of the most shot fighters in the UFC. Like, all respect the legend. The dude's been around for a long time. He's won a lot of big fights, but dude, when you're getting 30-26 by John McDessie, I think it's safe to say you're past your prime. Dude, John McDessie didn't even 30-26 Jesus Pinedo. Ross Pearson took a 10-8 round loss to John McDessie. It's like, oh, man, it probably should have been time for him to call it a day a little while ago. Desmond Green, on the other hand, like, that's a dude in the prime of his career. His hands have been getting better. Obviously, he has that wrestling background. Just a tricky fighter, man, like that tricky southpaw that can wrestle. Like, he presents a lot of problems for a lot of guys, and I think this might actually be the type of fight Desmond Green could actually style on someone in, man. I don't know. I think the last time I looked, the odds were like something crazy. It's just crazy to see Desmond Green as like a minus 440 favorite, but him to win inside the distance is some crazy shit. plus 407 for Desmond Green to finish this fight, man. Minus 445 is plus 400 to finish the fight. That's like unbelievable to me. I might take a 1 unit shot on that. Like, honestly, I really might, because I think he definitely can. I mean, he almost finished Gleison Tebow. Gleison Tebow, we all know about that guy's doctor. Like, he that guy can eat a shot, and he almost got finished by Des Green. Des Green kind of let him off the hook a little bit, but hey, in my opinion, Gleison Tebow goes out there and beats the hell out of Ross Pearson. So that's just talk about the level and competition. We already know Des Green's a serious dude, man. Performances against like Josh Emmett and whatnot. Like, Desmond Green's a good fighter. He's not going to lose this fight. Like, he should be minus 500, minus 600 in this fight. Come on now. I don't know why they made this fight. Ross Pearson, they should just be giving these guys fun fights. Like, let's see Ross Pearson versus BJ Penn. Let's do that next.
Yeah, man. I got Des Green as well. I don't know if he's going to finish Ross Pearson, but it wouldn't surprise me, though, because, Ross Pearson's done. I mean, he's lost 5 out of the last 6 fights. He's definitely one or the worst fighter at 155 right now. Des Green's not a finisher, though, but, I mean, this is the fight for sure if he wanted to get a finish in. His striking just, way better. I think Ross Pearson's definitely, was a good fighter, but, he's just shot. He's done. He's at the end of his career. He doesn't have it anymore. I think Des has, some pretty good tactical striking. He has good wrestling, good jab. It's funny because I thought the fight with Ty Small was actually kind of close. Like, I bet him there, which, you could say I'm biased, but it was a pretty close fight. The fight with Rusam was close too. He's always even the Perez, man. He's always in a close fight. Like, he's a good fighter. Like, I don't know why a lot of people think he's terrible. Like, I think Des Green's a pretty good fighter. He's just not a finisher. He's in a lot of close fights. The fight with Josh Emmett, he won, right? Yeah. A lot of people thought the Emmett won, but I don't think so. I think Des Green definitely won that fight. I think he has a grappling advantage. I think he's better on the feet. He has way more left in the tank. So I got Des Green all day. I think he's going to get a dominant decision, but that line in the distance is off for sure. So it wouldn't surprise me at all. Next fight I'm going to call up. I'm going to let you do it because you got to play. We got Marina Rodriguez versus Jessica Aguilar. And who you got?
Yeah, man, I got Marina Rodriguez here, and I went as far as to parlay her at minus 335. I actually think there's some value on that, man. Like, this girl, Marina Rodriguez. So I was gonna fully, like, I shit you not when I say this, I was gonna put like 4 to 5 units on Marina Rodriguez against Alexa Grasso at plus 140 odds. Like, I was fully planning on doing 5 units to win 7 units there. Like, it was going to be a huge play. I think the world of this girl, Marina Rodriguez, man. She has amazing Muay Thai. I thought she won her fight against Randa Marcos, to be honest. 29-28 decision. They ended up scoring at a draw, which, hey, man, you saw what Randa Marcos just did to Angela Hill, going out there and just destroying her in 1 round, basically. Like, the fact that she was able to go out there and, in my opinion, probably win a 29-28 decision against Marcos. That's how most people scored it. I mean, that's an impressive UFC debut, man. I'm only expecting her to get better and better fight on. And looking at this fight against Jessica Aguilar, oh boy, Jessica Aguilar is obviously one of the oldest fighters in the division, one of the slowest fighters in the division. She just took a big beating against Weili Zhang. That could have been like a last nail in the coffin thing. Like, I'm not banking on it. I'm not expecting it, but we could even see a even more shot version of Jessica Aguilar here. I think even if we get the same Jessica Aguilar that showed up in the Jody Escobar fight, I mean, I still think we probably should win this soundly, man. I mean, on the feet, it's a complete mismatch. I see Aguilar getting picked apart left and right. Like, obviously, she has to go for takedowns here, and I've seen some people say that she's probably going to be able to go out there and take down Marina Rodriguez just because Randa Marcos was able to take down Marina Rodriguez. But, dude, come on now. Like, it's so different. Jessica Aguilar is about twice as slow as Randa Marcos, probably about a third as strong at this point, probably like half the gas tank. Like, I could see Jessica Aguilar actually, I mean, when she has like a full gas tank of energy, maybe go out there, land a takedown or 2 in that first round. But I just think Marina's going to keep her composure and probably pick her apart badly in the second and third round. I don't even say she wins that first round, but we'll see. I'm very solid on Marina to just style on Aguilar here, man, and maybe even pick up a TKO win, and that's actually what I'm going to say what happens. I'm going to say Marina Rodriguez gets a 3rd round TKO. I'm going to say elbows and knees in the clinch.
Yeah, man. This is definitely, I think kind of easy fight for Rodriguez. Aguilar is definitely at the end of her career. I don't know, man. Aguilar I don't think belongs in the UFC anymore. I don't think she's that good. I think she's pretty much shot. She does have pretty good grappling, but I mean, Rodriguez, I think, can definitely keep it on the feet. I think she has the way better striking, and yeah, I think she's going to get her out of there. So I got Marina Rodriguez also by finish. What was the fight originally again? Rodriguez versus
Alexa Grasso, man, and Rodriguez was a plus 140 favorite, or plus 140 underdog.
Yeah, that was a close fight. I don't know who I don't even know who I had there, honestly. I think I was leaning Rodriguez, but it was really close. So I know you were going to bet Rodriguez there.
Big, man. Huge. I was going to max bet an underdog.
What, plus 140?
Yeah, man. 5 units to win 7 units.
I like it. So
I was pissed.
Go ahead. Yeah? Well, maybe they'll run it back in the future or something.
I hope.
So I'm just looking for my notes. So next fight, we have Team Bro Picks in this fight. And what's our record real quick on Team Bro Picks?
8-1. I believe we're 8-2 now because we lost on Pearson.
Oh, okay. So we're 8-2 now, but we got
or might be. I think it's 8. We might have lost another one recently. I can't remember.
We'll have to do the math.
8-3 at the worst.
I think it's 8-2. But anyways, we got Shaman Moraes versus Sodik Youssef, and this is a good fight. This is definitely one of the best fights of the card. I like Shaman, a lot. I bet him versus Matt, and I won, but it was a very close fight. Shaman was gassing, man, in that 3rd round. That was a really close fight. I actually thought when they announced the scorecards that Matt was going to win, but Shaman won, so it could have gone either way. And then last fight against Arce, Shaman, he beat his ass. I mean, I don't think it should have been a split. I think he definitely won that fight, but Arce still had his moments, and it was a war. I mean, it was a split decision win, but between me and you, Shaman won at least 2 of those rounds. Should have been unanimous, but I just think he's outgunned here, man. I think he's a really good technical striker, but I think Sodik is just more explosive. I think Sodik hits harder. I think he has more tools in the feet. I think he's way faster than Shaman. I think that his cardio is better. I mean, Shaman gasses, man, for sure. He just gassed against Matt. He gassed against Arce. He gets tired in a lot of his fights, and I think Sodik, he doesn't gas. I mean, we saw him win that decision win against Mike Davis on Contender Series. This kid's for real, man. Heavy hands, like I mentioned, just so fast, and his grappling's not bad either. I mean, I don't think he's going to go out there and out-grapple Shaman, but he has a better grappling. I think he has a better wrestling too. But he's a pressure fighter as well, aggressive. I just think he's the more cleaner striker. I think he is the better striker. I think he's more technical. I think he's faster, and I think he's going to put Shaman out of there. So I'm going to go with I got 3 units, by the way. I forgot to mention that. 3 units on Youssef at minus 165. We both mess up on the line. I mess up on a lot of lines, but we both mess up on this line because now he's minus 145. But yeah, I got Sodik by a 1st round finish here. I really think he's going to just get him out of there, man, pretty early. What about you?
Yeah, man. We are 8-3, by the way. Those 2 recent losses being this Steven Peterson and that terrible decision of John Phillips.
That was over. Come on, man. We won that fight, though.
Yeah, we won that shit. That's bullshit, dude. That was such a bad one. Yeah. So yeah, this fight, man. Yeah. So Sodik Youssef, you mentioned it. I bet him as well. 3.4 units at minus 170 to win 2 units. I don't know if your thought process was the same as mine, but basically mine was trying to figure out if the line was going to get better or worse. I just looked at people highly, I don't want to say disrespected. They were just really high on Arce against Shaman, and that line blew up to like minus 300. And I guess I kind of just assumed that the same thing would happen here, that just not a lot of people would show Shaman respect. But hey, Shaman Moraes has people's respect now, man. There's a lot of underdog money coming in on him, and I guess we should have waited, huh? But is what it is. We're gonna cash anyway, man. Sodik, you mentioned it. He's just, I mean, Shaman is that kind of guy where if you're not up to par in the striking, Shaman is gonna absolutely tee off on you. Like Matt Sales, that just wasn't the guy. Julio Arce just wasn't the guy, but Sodik Youssef, bro, that is the guy. Like, dude is so good on the feet. Like, he's a special athlete, man. He's a very good striker. Just precise striking, like the accuracy. Like, I don't know if you notice it, but like when he throws, he lands, dude. Like absolute precision and accuracy from this dude and power. One of my favorite strikers to watch. Like this dude is literally like the new generation of striking, honestly. Like it's serious, man. And I don't just say that about anybody. The guy's very, very good. And I just like this fight for him, man, because he's got a guy that's going to strike with him and then a guy that's going to strike with him that I think is outgunned. Like Shaman is very technical. I just don't think I just don't really see him being able to catch Sodiq on the feet, which that's probably his path is a knockout. We've seen Sodiq hurt in the past, but hey, everyone's got to take that first bump in the road. He got out of the way, and he's going to win this one, man, in my opinion. I think he's just going to land more volume, eventually probably put him away. But if Shaman's able to last the 3 rounds, Sodiq's going to have more volume in the bank, man. So 30-27 decision if it happens to go there, but I'm going to say he gets the TKO as well, man. I'm going to say Sodiq, Youssef, 3rd round TKO. I honestly think this dude's a special one, man. So moving on to the next fight, and that's 3.4 units at -170. Moving on to the next fight, man, we got Paul Craig versus Kennedy Nzechukwu, -185. Paul Craig +160. -185 is what I indeed played Kennedy Nzechukwu at. I parlayed Kennedy with Marina Rodriguez for exactly +100 odds. I got 3 units to win 3 units here, man. Kennedy and Marina. I like this Kennedy dude, man. Obviously, like he hasn't been fighting the best competition. He's still slightly green in his game, and he's got a lot to prove for sure. But they really are hooking him up here with this matchup, man. And I mean, we're talking about a very young fighter, a guy at Fortis MMA, where I mean, I think it's pretty safe to assume the dude has definitely made some improvements in the last 8 months if he's training over at Fortis MMA. I know they just had a bump in the road last week with Steven Peterson, but I mean, and even with Charles Bird, but I mean, we've seen like massive improvements in a lot of those guys and just serious competition. That's probably me and yours, like one of our favorite gyms right now, like that group of guys over there. And yeah, man, I can only expect Kennedy to come out here an even better version of himself. But even if we want to talk about the Kennedy that fought in Contender Series last fight, I think that version of Kennedy should be around a -200 favorite against Paul Craig here. So in the -100s, dude, I just had to take it. Like Paul Craig, he's of course, this is no secret, he's probably on 95% of MMA bettors fades list. Like this isn't some sharp play. I mean, I'm still playing a decently juiced favorite here, man, but I think there's some value even at the line, man. Obviously, the line's getting better just because same thing with the Sabina Mazo line, man. I mean, money's coming on in the underdog just because they are more proven. Paul Craig is, I mean, as much crap as we can talk on Paul Craig actually has gone out there and got multiple UFC wins, man. But the thing is, like, of course, his UFC debut, I think me and Will Martin might have been the only guys in the world to bet him there and actually win. That was actually a sharp underdog play just because Frankenstein is absolutely terrible. But since then, man, I mean, he's pretty much lost every single fight. You can say he won the Ankalev fight. He did tap him in the last second, but geez, man, like we know how that fight goes down 9 out of 10 times. I'm sure we've all we're beating a dead horse with that. That was the biggest fluke of the century, and I think that's what it's going to take here for Paul Craig to win, man. I think it's probably going to take a fluke sub, but I think Kennedy, he's going to be so big and physical in there. I think he's just going to be able to simply keep it on the feet, and I think he starches Craig quick. I see a sub 90-second KO here, man. Honestly, like I just think he gets starched on. Like, I mean, it's definitely one of the possibilities. I'm not saying for sure it's going to happen, but I think that's the highest probability thing of happening, of him just going in and hitting a big shot on Craig's chin and knocking him out. So Kennedy for the win, 3 units.
Yeah, man. This shout out is for my boy Clint from Die Hard MMA podcast. Friends don't let their friends bet on Paul Craig, and also the prediction guru for picking Paul Craig, because Paul Craig is trash, man. He's one of the worst fighters, if not the worst fighter at 205. I don't care. He took down Crute a couple times. Crute's a pretty green fighter, but Crute's still a good fighter. And Crute, come on. Crute finished him in his own game in the third round, man. Paul Craig could be 1-4 in the UFC. I like Khalil Roundtree. Like, I'm a fan of him, obviously. Like, he's won me money against Paul Craig, and he's won me money against Saki. But Khalil's not that good, and Khalil embarrassed Paul Craig. Paul Craig, man, is not a good fighter, man. He has decent grappling, but his striking is horrendous. And, Kennedy is green for sure. So it wouldn't surprise me if he got maybe one takedown. But I think Kennedy could definitely get back up. But I don't even think this fight's going to hit the mat, man. I think Kennedy's just going to starch him immediately. So I got Kennedy also by first round KO. And Paul Craig is not a good fighter, man. He's not. He's a small 205 or 2. Kennedy's way bigger than him. He's way more athletic. He's way faster. His striking's way better. He's a good jab. I have some friends that said that he lost to Anton Berzin. No, he did not, man. Come on. He did not lose to Anton Berzin at all. He won that fight. I got Kennedy all day here, man. So Kennedy by finish in the first round. So next fight we got Carolina KK Kowalkiewicz versus, I know I butchered that last name. Versus how do you pronounce it?
Kowalkiewicz.
Oh, Kowalkiewicz. Versus Michelle Waterson. This is a good fight. If KK didn't get starched like 5 or 6 months ago versus Jessica Andrade, I would be playing her. I would be betting her for sure. Like probably like 3 or 4 years, because I think she's the better fighter. I think she's the better striker. I think she's way more technical. Michelle Waterson is just a bigger fighter. Waterson's always outsized at 115. Is she chinny? Like, that's a question I have in the back of my mind. I don't think so, but she doesn't like to get hit, man. She has good grappling for sure, but I don't know if she's gonna be able to go out there and like take her down. Like, I know KK's, Claudia took her down, but Claudia's a way better fighter than Michelle Waterson. Even though Claudia's, not looking that good lately, she's still better than Michelle Waterson.
Way bigger than Michelle too.
Way bigger. I think KK can grapple too. Look at what she did against Herrick. I know Waterson, out-grappled Herrick too, which is kind of surprising. But I just think on the feet, I think KK is way better. I think she's way more technical, way better striker. And, she has to worry about the grappling. I think Waterson maybe could get her down but I think KK could actually get her down too. I think KK could take her down. I just think it's going to be a close fight on the feet. Or a close fight in general, but I got KK winning 29-28 decision. What about you?
Yeah, man, I see. This is kind of like one of those fights, like the hot lava fights I talk about, where on the feet, I think Michelle Waterson's probably in big trouble. On the mat, if it happens to hit there, I think KK is probably in big trouble. I think each lady has a pretty sizable advantage in their own respective games. I think if KK is able to keep it on the feet for 15 minutes, she's going to probably just absolutely easily win a 30-27 decision here. Michelle Waterson, I mean, she's got that sidekick, but what else does she really have on the feet, man? I think KK's she's too many levels ahead on the feet to just somehow get outstruck here by Waterson. Like, this isn't Courtney Casey. This is not going to be close on the feet. KK will definitely beat her up here, man. But hey, I'm actually not that convinced that she's going to be able to stuff the takedowns here. I know, I mean, you mentioned it. People shouldn't be banking on Waterson to take her down just because Claudia did. Claudia is a lot bigger. Claudia is a lot stronger. And I mean, Claudia's a black belt. I know Michelle Waterson has some high level BJJ as well, but I don't know. I'm not convinced enough that she's going to be able to take her down. I was considering Karate Hottie for a small 2-unit underdog bet here, man, but I just can't do it. I just think the striking is going to be too differential, and there's a big chance Michelle Waterson looks bad out there, bro. Like, KK definitely has the skills to make her look like an atomweight, which, I mean, let's be honest, Michelle Waterson's kind of an atomweight, bro. So I guess I understand the line. I actually really wanted to go into this podcast picking Michelle Waterson, but I can't do it. Like, I was fully expecting to pick her, but talking about the fight, I can't do it. I got KK. Maybe Michelle wins a round. I'll say 29-28 unanimous for KK.
Yeah, man. If she didn't just get starts like 5 months ago, I know it's against Andrade, I'd probably be playing her. I just want to just sit back and watch this fight because I want to see how she looks after taking that beating that she did.
Man, if it hits like Pick'em, like that's not a bad. KK is not a bad bet if it keeps getting a little better at all.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it happens. We'll see. But moving on to the next fight, we do got a pick 'em fight here, man. We got Josh Emmett -110 taking on Michael the Menace Johnson -110. This is a really interesting one, man. This is a couple guys where, let's be honest, the majority of the MMA world probably doesn't think too highly of these two individuals right now, mostly just because Josh Emmett's last fight. Man, I feel like a broken record, but I was at that fight as well, man. Josh Emmett got killed, man. Like, I don't know if y'all read like the medical report of this knockout he took against Jeremy Stevens in Orlando, but me and Justin will talk about it sometimes, but maybe we won't always be correct. This for sure is a life-changing knockout. Like, who the hell knows how Josh Emmett is going to go out there and look against Michael Johnson? Like, he took over a year off, which is definitely good. Like, of course, that's good for his health that he took a year off, but I mean, taking a year off, he's probably going to be rusty in that octagon, man. And despite how Michael Johnson has been looking, which is not that good, to be quite honest, like, Michael Johnson's actually been pretty active in that octagon, man. I mean, he's got a lot of fights under his belt in these last couple of years. And remember, like, in 2014, around the time he fought, like, Edson Barboza and whatnot, like, he was barely fighting. He was fighting, like, once a year for a little while there, and now he's, like, super active, which is weird. I wish he was more active in his prime. But I'm going to go with Michael Johnson here, bro. I actually think he has the chance to go out here and catch Emmett. If Emmett's chin has been compromised a little bit, I think MJ might be looking at his first knockout at 145 pounds. If not, like, I feel like Emmett might be a little gun shy. There's always the chance of that, and MJ could just volume him for 3 rounds. So I kind of feel like on the feet, I give Michael Johnson the advantage for sure. But Emmett's got that real good, strong wrestling, and he could go out here and fight a smart fight, man, and he could probably do it. Michael Johnson, I just get the vibe that he's not as motivated. I'm sure he's drilling takedown defense for this camp. There's no doubt about that. I don't know. I just feel like Josh Emmett, he's got that personality. I'm sure he's been hungry since the day he got knocked out by Jeremy Stevens to go back in there and get a W, man. So, I mean, I actually feel like Josh Emmett probably will be the guy in the octagon who wants it more. It's just, can he do it? Michael Johnson, I mean, we're talking about a guy, Michael Johnson was on his way to a title shot at 155 pounds. This is a guy who was the fucking man just a couple of years ago. So it's a close fight, man. Those pick-em odds are probably right, but I'm going to ever so slightly lean with Michael Johnson. I'm going to say 29-28 unanimous decision.
This is definitely one of the closest fights to call, just like the Barzola fight. I see a lot of people really strong on one side. I see a lot of people strong on the other side. I think it's a fight you got to just pass and just, sit back and relax. Emmett definitely has a grappling advantage for sure. MJ just not a good wrestler. The guy's takedown defense is not good at all. He's a quitter for sure. He's inconsistent, man. Like, I don't know what it is with him. He looks good one fight, doesn't look good the other fight. I don't care what anyone says. I think Andre Fili definitely won that fight. It was a close fight, but I think Fili definitely won with the grappling. And then MJ won against Artem, which was a good win. But, I mean, come on, man. Artem's one of the worst fighters in that division. He's not even in the UFC anymore. Emmett can strike too, man. I mean, he doesn't just have an overhand right. He has a good left hook. He knocked out Lamas with that. The Lamas win is definitely his best win. He's like 5-2 in the UFC. Like, he's not, he's not bad at all. I think Emmett's a good fighter. Just the long layoff. He got knocked out bad. I thought he won that first round versus Jeremy Stevens. Stevens caught him for sure, but some of those strikes he landed were pretty illegal, I think. But I mean, Stevens still, he definitely changed his life. It's a big red flag. I want to see how he looks here, but I don't just see how people are so confident in MJ. MJ just, I don't know, man, just so inconsistent. Like, he really is. His cardio is not that good. He just doesn't believe in himself. Like, he looked different at 145, but I thought he lost a few, like I already mentioned. Yeah, he beat Artem, but it's not like he smoked Artem. Like, he made those rounds kind of close, man, against a guy like Artem. Once he gets taken down, he just doesn't know what to do. I mean, Emmett, he's gone for takedowns for sure in the UFC, but he likes to strike more. He has good movement. I think he needs to go for the grappling here because I think he has a big advantage on there. Team Alpha Male has faced Michael Johnson multiple times. I got to go with Emmett here, man. I just don't trust Michael Johnson at all. Yes, he knocked out Dustin Poirier a long time ago. Yes, he beat Tony Ferguson when Ferguson broke his hand. But, I mean, the dude has good wins, but he's just so inconsistent. Like, I don't know how you can trust a guy like Michael Johnson, who's, I think, on the decline. So The red flag with Emmett, like that's why I'm not betting Emmett here. I don't trust him after getting smoked like that against Stevens, but I think he's the better fighter, man. I really do. I think he's gonna get a win. I think he's gonna tap out Michael Johnson in the second or third round, rear naked choke.
Wow, that's bold, man.
And I'm not playing it, but I mean, DraftKings, maybe we'll see. But I gotta draw something. I don't trust Michael Johnson at all. So next fight, we got a co-main event. We got David Branch versus Joker, and I'm a nice guy. I'm gonna let you go first because we both have a play here, and let's do it, man. Go first.
All right, man. Yeah, so 2 consensus bets for me and Justin for this card. I got Jack the Joker Hermansson, man. -120, 3.6 units. I mentioned earlier, man, in that GM3 fight. I mean, I was blown away by that performance. Like, holy shit. One of the best, like, eye-opening performances of the year for me. Was that late 2018, I want to say?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, like, I've never seen anyone go out there and just dismantle Mearshart like that. Like Mearshart, like you mentioned it when we were breaking down the Mearshart fight. Like Mearshart is really good defensively on the ground, like always throwing up subs from his back, just always fighting, man. But defensively, that is. But he was just completely helpless against Jack on the mat, dude. Like that was just. I mean, I could watch that shit all day long, man. I mean, that is beautiful violence at its finest. Jack Hermansson, like, I just love this guy's whole entire game. Firstly, I love that he is my fellow Nordic brother repping those Swedish and Norwegian flags. I can definitely dig that. When it comes to a striking game, like he comes out, he's super awkward, he's super rangy, but he has a lot of power in his hands. Like on the regional scene, he was mostly known for his boxing and piecing guys up and knocking a lot of guys out. But in the UFC, man, it's his ground and pound and his ruthless takedowns. Like the guy, I mean, he's got it for sure. Like he's tricky on the feet. Like obviously, it's not really what he has to worry about in this fight with Branch. But I think when it comes to really technical strikers, he's going to give technical strikers a lot of problems just because of how awkward and rangy he is. But in this fight, man, I think the striking is probably going to be close. Like Branch is no slouch on the feet at all. Like you don't just simply go out there and knock out Thiago Santos, despite how much of a glass cannon that guy was, especially 185 pounds. Like Branch is definitely solid on the feet here, man. But I mean, we know for a fact this whole fight's not going to play out in the feet. But hypothetically, if it did play out on the feet, I think Jack Hermansson would probably outstrike him to a decision. But I mean, we know that's not going to happen. When Jack Hermansson, he's going to go for the takedowns. He's going to get them. He's going to bash Branch in, man. I mean, Branch, he's a black belt in BJJ, one of the best. But, I mean, I know Jack Hermansson isn't, like, BJJ ranked. But if you go and watch his fights in his UFC career and watch him against guys like Talis Laitis, like, dude, one doesn't simply, like I just said, one doesn't simply knock out Thiago Santos. One doesn't simply out-grapple Talis Laitis with broken ribs. He out-grappled Talis Laitis with broken ribs, bro. I mean, one of the sickest comebacks I've ever seen. I actually bet Jack there as well against Talis Laitis, and I was sweating so hard, man. Like, for him to break his ribs early on and still come back and win. Jack Hermansson has a lot of fucking heart, dude, and he is a tough-ass Viking. I know he's got that Viking blood in him. And in my opinion, he's the tougher guy in this fight, more will to win, more durable. Dave Branch is getting up there, man. Like, he hasn't really taken that much damage, but that last one against Cannonier, that was his last fight, right? Cannonier. Yeah. I mean, I'm not banking on him to come back a lesser fighter after that, but that could be a total possibility. That's just another egg in the basket there, like another reason to bet Hermansson. It's just another thing there, man. Hermansson's coming off a big win. Branch is coming off a big loss. One guy is the higher ceiling with a lot more to go in his career. One guy's at the tail end, man. Like, congrats on that big Thiago Santos knockout, but that was like the last hurrah, man. Jack Hermansson is coming in here to hurt you. I'm going to say David Branch taps to strikes second round. I think we see it again. What do you got, man?
Yeah, man, I actually like Branch pre-tape, but then after I watched the tape, I ended up betting Joker. So I have 3 units at -130. I didn't get the plus money just because when he hit plus money, wasn't done taping the fight. So, it is what it is. But yeah, man, Branch is definitely a good fighter. I think, he's definitely been around the game a long time. He's definitely taken more damage than Joker. But between me and you, he's at the end of his career, man. I really do. He's 2-2 in the UFC. He tapped the strides against Rockhold. Last fight against Cannonier took a lot of damage. Can he take down Joker? Like, I think he can, but I think Joker could definitely just, kind of maybe just reverse him or just get right back up. I think Joker's grappling is really good. It's improved so much from the Matante fight. Like, look what he did against Talis Waitie's. Like you mentioned, he out-grappled him with a broken rib, and he looked really good in that fight. But come on, in the first round, he was in a little trouble, but he had a broken rib. Like, come on. Or second round, I think. But yeah, man. I think he's a better striker. I think he has more volume. I think he has really good movement. It's kind of hard to read him on the feet, man. I mean, he has crazy movement, good jab, good kicks. But his best game, or his best part of his game, is his top game. Like, he could definitely take down Branch, which I think he will. And once he gets on top, come on, man. He probably has the best ground and pound in the division. I think he's gonna get him out of there. Branch I don't think he wants it anymore. I really don't, man. I just think Joker's the better fighter right now. I really do. He has way more left in the tank, and I don't know. I don't know how Branch wins this fight. Like, I think he has to go out there and just get a KO on the feet, which I don't see happening. And I mean, he could get him down. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, but he took down Cannonier too, and Cannonier got right back up. I think Joker has, way better takedown defense and grappling than Cannonier. And I think he has a better wrestling than David Branch. I really do. So I'm going to go with Joker by second round TKO. So next fight, we got the main event, man. We got Justin Gaethje versus Edson Barboza. And I got 3 units on the underdog, Justin Gaethje at plus 145. I'm sure a lot of people out there are probably telling me why am I betting this fight? I should definitely be sitting or passing because it's definitely, a crazy, crazy war. But honestly, man, I think it's a really good matchup for the underdog. Like, I think Justin has really good pressure. And I think pressure is what Edson Barboza really just has a hard time dealing with, man. I mean, yeah, you can say Gaethje takes so much damage, which he does, but if you watch the tape, this is a good matchup for him. I really do. He has the wrestling advantage. I'm not going to sit here and say he's going to go out there and take him down. But if you look at what's going on in the week, at the not the press, but what is it? The
open workouts.
Open workouts. He was going for takedowns. So and he's been saying in interviews and take him down. I think it's smart if he does because he definitely has a grappling advantage. But I don't think he's going to do it. I'm being honest, I don't. But if he does, that'll be awesome. But anyways, Edson Barboza, man, he's a good fighter. He dominated Dan Hooker last fight. Obviously, he's 1-0 at top team, but he's definitely, getting older. I think he's definitely taking a lot of damage too. I think Gaethje could definitely hurt him on the feet. Justin has really good striking. He has good right hand. He has good weight kicks. I don't know if he's going to use the weight kicks against Barboza because I don't think he's going to give Barboza any space. That's not what Justin does. If you watch the Hooker fight, Hooker was definitely given a lot of space and he got chewed up. If you watch the Tony Ferguson fight, Ferguson broke him on the feet and then, tapped him out. I think Justin could definitely do what Tony did to him, honestly. I think Justin has, like I mentioned, he has good cardio. I think he has the better cardio. I think the longer the fight go, he has the advantage. I think Justin could actually starch him in the first round. I think Barboza has really good striking. I think Barboza is the better striker. I think he has, probably some more tools in the feet. He has really good knees, good kicks, but I just don't think Justin's going to give him the space, man. I don't think so. I think Justin's going to be backing him against the fence. And if you watch Barboza's fights, with Kevin Lee, I know Kevin Lee out-grappled him, but Kevin Lee was dominated him on the feet as well, man. And, he took a lot of damage against Khabib as well. Michael Johnson, pressured him and, broke him and, won that fight. Just the same game plan Justin's going to do. I think Justin has the better cardio. I just really see the pressure frustrating Edson Barboza here. So I'm going to go with Justin Gaethje by a third-round TKO. I think he's really just going to back him against the fence, and I think he's going to just gas him out. It's funny because he was beating Dustin Poirier, I feel like, up until the TKO. Dustin, I think he was he was breaking Dustin, but Dustin's a good fighter, man. Dustin just caught him in that fourth round. I think Dustin has better cardio than that's Barboza. So I got to go with the pressure here, man. So I got the pressure fighter with a third-round TKO. What about you?
Yeah, that James Vick KO too, man. Justin Gaethje is a serious dude, and honestly, at the beginning of the week, I was favoring Edson Barboza, but now, recently, I'm actually gonna have to go with the underdog, Justin Gaethje. Man. I think you're gonna cash this bet. I think you got a great line as well. What do you get? Plus 145, 150.
I got 45. I think the best I got was 55, which kind of sucks. But
Yeah, yeah. I think you got a great line, man. You beat it by the current line by 30 cents. I think it's probably going to close around Pick'em. We both faded Barboza last fight against Dan Hooker. We lost on that. Like that was a crazy fight, man. Dan Hooker took a lot of fucking damage there, dude. That was great. I see Gaethje probably coming out here and taking a lot of damage as well, man. It's just he's so damn tough and he never stops. And eventually, I feel like he's gonna probably gonna end up breaking. No, I don't know if he's gonna break into Barboza. I just feel like eventually he's gonna be able to get in there and land the shot that he needs to. I think he's gonna be able to probably knock him out and later in the fight. All good there, Justin?
yeah, I had to tell my parents to close it because they got home.
Honestly, man, like I do see Gaethje landing. Gaethje has underrated power, bro. Like you don't just simply go out there and knock out James Vick just because he cuts a lot of weight and has tall man defense. Like you have to have serious life-changing power and technique behind it. Justin Gaethje, 100%. I see some people that still aren't convinced Justin Gaethje's a top 10 guy. Come on, man. Like the guy's. I mean, look at his record. He's serious, bro. He's beating some real good guys too. That Michael Johnson fight, that was so great. It's funny how they're both on this card now. Gaethje's a UFC vet now at this point. Like I remember when he first came in, we were kind of all like, "Oh, here's the unproven WSOF champion," but he's got UFC fights behind his belt now, man. He's been in there with the very best. And now Edson's going to have some serious kicks. This is going to be one hell of a kicking battle. I mean, Edson Barboza, the only guy in UFC history to finish a fight via leg strikes, body kick, and head strikes, versus Justin Gaethje, who has, I mean, just chewing leg kicks. I mean, this guy just mauls people with those things. So it's going to be interesting, man. I mean, obviously, you got to think that Edson Barboza is the more technical striker, the faster striker, and I feel like he's probably going to end up winning that leg kicking battle. I just feel like Justin Gaethje, the wild fucking dude he is just going to eat all the damage in this fight. Barboza is going to start to tire down, and as soon as Barboza starts to slow down a little, Gaethje's just going to have more left in him. I mean, obviously, training in Colorado, he's got that cardio game on point, man, training up there at elevation. I think later, like third, fourth round, he is eventually just going to put the pressure on him, and he's going to land that big knockout blow. So I'm going to go Justin Gaethje, be a third round KO. And honestly, if it gets back to that range that you got him at, like that plus 145 to plus 150, I'll probably end up betting him, but I don't see that happening. I think it's probably going to end up closing pick'em. So I give you credit for getting in on that early. I hope you cash, man. So I'm going to go with Justin Gaethje. It's a great one.
Thanks, Ben. He could definitely get KO'd here. I mean, he's been knocked out, twice in the UFC. Eddie Alvarez finished him in the third round. Eddie was, I mean, he could even stand up, man. So he definitely, I think he got a good finish there. And then Dustin Poirier, go ahead.
Let's be honest, though. Who have you seen overcome more adversity, Eddie Alvarez or Edson Barboza?
It's definitely Eddie Alvarez, man. I think I can't sit here. I'm not going to sit here and be biased. I think Edson Barboza's path to victory is a KO, which could happen. He's knocked out a lot of guys, right? But I just don't think Justin's going to give him that space to use those kicks. I think he's going to get inside and just brush him back against the fence. We've seen him, struggle with these kind of fighters or these fights. Like he's Michael Johnson, Tony Ferguson, even Kevin Wee. Like he just does not like to get back up against the fence. He doesn't like wrestlers either. And I mean, I think Justin could definitely take him down. I don't think he's going to, but I can also see him having, the pressure on the feet and breaking him. So,
I was going to say, man, we've mostly been talking about the striking, but I mean, in his back pocket, he does have that wrestling advantage, and that could just be one of those X factors. And not only that, dude, look at these main events the past few weeks. The underdogs are coming through in the main events. Looking at Masvidal and Perez. Yeah. See if it keeps going.
Look how calm and composed he looked against Vic. Like, he just dusted him in 2 minutes. Like, he looked really good in that fight.
And honestly, like, I know he looked great against Dan Hooker last time out, but I feel like Edson Barboza is starting to slowly slow down a little bit. Like, he was getting outstruck by Beneil Dariush before he knocked out Beneil Dariush. I feel like a few years ago he would have ripped through Hooker, but he simply didn't. Hooker definitely had his moments in that fight. I sense Edson Barboza slowing down just a tad. And it might have something to do with those Khabib and Lee fights.
Yeah, like I bet Hooker versus Barboza, and it was a bad bet. But like Hooker had his moments. Like Hooker still, like you could tell that Barboza was like getting frustrated with when like he started to pressure him. Like he was getting frustrated. Hooker took him down. Like come on, man. Like Hooker took him down. Like Justin should watch the tape and be like, yo, if Hooker took him down, like I'm a D1 wrestler. Like I haven't been using my grappling. Like I mean, Kevin Lee like dominated him on the mat. Khabib, like I should use my grappling here and mix it up. It's gonna throw him off. Right. So, and then I don't like I don't know, man. Just his fight IQ, Barboza's like the guy like try to take down Kevin Lee. I just feel like sometimes when he gets pressured, like he just like I don't know, he makes bad decisions. Like his fight IQ is not the best.
Dude, honestly, like he's always been just a little low key chinny as well.
Oh yeah, back to that he is for sure. Yeah,
going back to the Jamie Varner fight, and not only just the Jamie Varner fight with the whole chinny thing, like. Historically, it has kind of been those pressure strikers like Jamie Varner and Michael Johnson that were able to go out there and upset Edson Barboza. It might not be the more technical strikers or the pretty strikers, but I mean, pressure is what cracks this guy apparently. Historically looking at it, I mean, that's just how it is.
Yeah, man. So let's do a recap on our plays. I have 3 units on Joker at minus 130, 3 units on Youssef at minus 165, and 3 units on Justin at plus 145.
Yeah, man, I got 13 units on the line. I might add I might even add another play. I don't think I'd ever do anything more than 15 units per card anymore. But yeah, I got my biggest play going down from my biggest play to my smallest play. 3.6 units on Jack Hermansson, minus 120 to win 3. 3.4 units on Sodiq Yusuff, minus 170 to win 2 units. 3 units on Sabina Mazo, minus 141 to win like 2.08, something like that. And then 3 units on the parlay of Kennedy. I forgot the last name now. Nzechukwu. Kennedy, Nigerian Kennedy, 6'5" light heavyweight Nigerian Kennedy. With him and Marina Rodriguez at plus 100 odds. Let's get it, man.
Yeah, man. So we'll be back in 2 weeks. It sucks that we have a 2-week break, but yeah, man. Pretty good card though in Atlanta for sure. Dustin Poirier versus Holloway, Sawbender versus Kelvin.
Yes, sir.
Let us know in the comments below who you guys got in every fight. Let us know if you guys want us to make a video, I guess, next week. I don't know if we're going to, but yeah, man. So we'll be back next week. And later, guys. Hope you guys cash.